What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Tom Trips Out. We are live. This is a live stream on my phone. If you want more Cambodia information, go subscribe to my channel because I make actual videos too with a camera. Then about once or twice a week I go live like this on my phone so I can talk to you guys, but there's proper videos too and playlists. How to find an apartment, how to find a job, just hundreds. I've been doing this for 3 years here in Phnom Penh. Very active channel, so join in, press subscribe, and this weekend I'm going to Kampot, so there's a lot of content coming. I make shorts a lot too, and my band is going this weekend to Kampot. We're playing pretty much every single night. I think we play 5 nights out of 6 nights, so we're pretty much, we only get one night where we're not playing, but we're trying to find a gig for that night too. So it's about 9 a.m. here. If you've got questions about Cambodia, Phnom Penh, teaching abroad, you can ask me in the chat. I was originally going to go get food right now, but I'm not even that hungry, so we'll walk around for a long time, and maybe I usually do an hour. So maybe sometime in the middle of this or near the end I might get breakfast, but we'll just walk and talk for now. I've got helpful links in the description if you want to look into how I became a teacher here and how I got certified. There's an amazing in-the-country program here with AVSE TESOL. They're government accredited. It's very legit. And they include hands-on job support, so they help you find your first job too. Hey, sorry I didn't see that. I can't see my screen. It's so sunny. Boozehammer. So Boozehammer just sent a donation. Thank you so much, Boozehammer. $5. He says, and he sent a message too. Hey man, I just signed up with AVSE. I talked to Peter yesterday. Nice. Did you tell him about me or use my referral? There's a spot to write like, oh, how did you hear of us? Or like often you have a conversation with them when you first sign up, like a webcam thing, and they'll consultation. And during that convo, you can bring me up too, and that's good enough, as long as you mention it or tell Peter. Yeah, okay, nice. Yeah, so that's what I was just talking about, the AVSE program. Hold on, you don't want to see my face the whole time. It's the program I did. It's an in-the-country course, so you come here, and it's totally immersive. So it's a 4-week program. And then in the 4th week, just as you're coming out of it, they send your resume out, CV out to all the schools in need and their partner schools. And hey, that doesn't stop you from looking for your own job too. Like, let's say you're on Facebook and some postings come up. Yeah, like send your email too. So as you're graduating and you're looking for a job yourself, AVSE like supports you in that, and they send it out to all their schools that they know of too. And then when any of the schools get your resume, whether it's from you or whether it's from AVSE, and then they're like, I wonder about this guy, and then they'll see that you have AVSE on your resume, and that's a big bump up, and then they can use that as a reference too. So they'll call AVSE and say, hey, we're looking at Boozehammer's CV here, and we have an opening for grade 4. We were just wondering, you've just spent 4 or 5 weeks with him. Do you think he'd be a good fit for the grade 4 or this and that? And like, AVSE would really have your back. And oops, sorry, I just got run over. You know, so they'll be there backing you up, whether it's a job you found on your own or whether it's one they got for you or whatever. But they basically just keep finding you job interviews and backing you up until you land one. But normally, if you get an interview, they already want you and you get the job. Like, it's most of the time. I've only been refused one time, and it was because they wanted a female, because it was kindergarten. Sorry, I'm just gonna get into some shade and I'll read your guys' comments. I can see you're writing stuff. It's so sunny, I can't see anything. They're rebuilding this whole road. If you've ever seen me in the market, it's right over there. Anyways, let's see. Some of you guys wrote some questions here. Hang on. Tom, how are you, bro? I'm good. How are you? Let's go go-kart racing at Chipmong 271. Chipmong is a big mall for everyone else who's watching. I'm getting sick of this dirt road. We'll make a left at the next possible. Can't go anywhere. This car's like, what am I gonna do? There's only a small opening for motorbikes. It's pretty interesting. There's a monk coming over here. Just gonna pretend not to film him directly, but got him. Oh, we might be able to catch him doing they go in front of a business and do a big, like, kind of a monotone chanting prayer. And then they give him an offering or give him money. Hear it? Mama, mommy, mama, mama. Yeah, you guys are saying, they don't mind if you photograph them or video them, but still, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm gawking at holding a camera at them and they're doing a sacred thing or whatever. But when my cousin was here about a month ago, and we went to the old capital city of Phnom Penh, old capital city of Cambodia, and before it was Phnom Penh, called Udong City, and we went to the top of this temple, and there was some monks up there, and they were happy to, like, take pictures with us and pose for pictures. Like, they were totally cool with it. So here's 2 schools right here. Here's one. So this is places you could work. It looks like these are for younger age levels though. And there's another one. Right beside each other. I actually had an interview there. That was the place that did not hire me because they wanted a girl. for kindergarten and grade 1, they often prefer a girl, because imagine if two kids have a little fight, or one of them like falls down, or they start crying, or they miss their mom or something. It's much easier for like a younger, bubbly female to come comfort them and hug them, or pick them up and hug them and stuff, rather than like me or something, like so. And the parents like to see a certain thing when they come pick up their kids and stuff, like. And you don't want to be honest, I wouldn't want to deal with that anyways. Neither would you. Like, so just imagine yourself from like grade 3 and up, probably. Unless you're very maternal. That's not totally. I've known a couple of guys that have done kindergarten though, and there's a teacher assistant to take care of that stuff. So it's not 100% that it's only female for that, but they often do that. Matto, morning blessings for food or money. So hey, Boozehammer, what month are you gonna do the course? I haven't got the email from Peter yet. July, that's awesome. Well, any month would be awesome, but that's part of my income here, is helping to refer those people, and I do a lot of work and make promotional materials and talk about it a lot. And then sometimes there'll be periods of time where the sign-ups are kind of dry, and I'm doing a lot of work and not getting anything, and then finally someone signs up and I get excited, and then I look at what month are they coming, and it could be like, sometimes people plan way in advance, and so yes, I got one. Oh, it's for 10 months from now. You know what I mean? And I don't get the referral unless till they're actually here doing it. You know what I mean? So yours is only like 2 months away, so that's great. I'm about to move to Kampot, so I need any little bit I can right now. Boozehammer, any recommendations on cheap hotels near the school? Well, AVSE will give you a list of recommended hotels that are close to the school, with a price list and everything, ranging from cheap to more expensive, like nice, you know what I mean? Ranging in levels of niceness and quality and price and stuff. But the one everyone seems to stay in most of the time is on Street 172, which is a street that has a lot of character, because it's like a backpacker hostel street, so there's a lot of like craziness going on there, and a lot of good bars and stuff like that. But it's called Best Central. That's the one everyone stays out on 172, because I'm not saying that's like, oh, that's the best place to stay in the city, but it's close to the hotel. There's everything around there. There's a convenience store like right close by. And they have many different options of rooms in that place, so it's called the Best Central, Street 172, Phnom Penh. That's where probably I'd say 95% of all the AVSE people stay there. What else are you saying here? Dimad, will you teach in Kampot? I'm with teaching. I'm on and off with teaching. What I would love to do is teach privately, one-on-one, online, for 1 hour Monday to Friday, and then I want like 3 students like that. So imagine I did like 7 till 8 a.m. I have a student, and then 8 till 9 and 9 till 10 or something like that, and just only online. That's what I would love to have. But I'm not really teaching now. I earn enough from YouTube and the AVSE referrals, and also I play in like 3 bands, and that's ending up, the bands is becoming a lot of my income lately. Like from this Friday till next Friday, I have 6 shows only in those 8 days, because you count the Fridays twice, right? So just in an 8-day period, and I'll make about $250 from that at least, and that's getting paid not that much. Like, that's cheap. So, and in Kampot, there's so many places to play. So when I moved to Kampot, also everything's so much cheaper there. You can rent a standalone private house for like $150 a month, or especially $200. So I'll have a house with a big fence around it and a 1-bedroom private house and everything, and it'll be $200 a month or less. So I could almost just pay that just from playing bass and stuff. And then YouTube pays a little bit, and then if I get some referrals for the TESOL course, you know, and then I have savings too. So I slowly burn through my savings and stuff and then you have good months and stuff like that, and then it does happen though where it can dry up, where my money's getting low and everything online's not working out. And this happened to me around October, November, December that just passed, like maybe 5 months ago. And that's when I started teaching part-time. So like if it ever starts to dry up, I just push really hard to find a teaching job. But it would be great to, as I just said before, I would love to just have like, just constant, have like between 1 and 3 like online students that I just see 1 hour every day online. If I had that, it would be like, because often they have to pay more when it's private tutoring. So you can get like $20 an hour for that. So if I did 3 students, I'd be making $60 a day. You know. You could make $1,200 a month just from that. Like, and I had a part-time job. Like I had this going. I had 2 or 3 online students, and they slowly, one by one, just finished. They paid for a certain amount of time, or they had certain goals, and then that date came up, like they had an exam there I was preparing them for, and then then that day comes and they don't need me anymore, right? And then so all my students finished, and then my boss didn't have any more people for me. So for the last like 2-3 months, I haven't had any students. But my online stuff's been going well, so I thought, okay, and there's no point in me finding a job now and then I move to Kampot in 2-3 weeks. So when I get to Kampot, that's a big thing on my list. As soon as I'm settled in, you know, because I definitely have some time. I have like 3-4 hours a day I could work. I don't want to work like full time anymore, because I do too much other stuff. Like I'm in 3-4 bands, and this YouTube takes up a lot of time too, and even though, and I need it to be daylight. That's the other problem. When I worked full time, I'd get home by about 4:30 or 5, and there's only like another 1 hour till the sun is down. You know what I mean? And you might want to change and shower, and maybe you want to eat food, or maybe relax for a second. And it's like you're always trying to beat the clock of when it gets dark. That's why I love the idea of teaching like 3 or 4 hours in the morning, and imagine it's like, then it gets to 10:30, 11 a.m., you're done work for the day. Shut the laptop. The whole rest of the day is yours. Then I make a video or something. Like, so it works perfectly for me if I can get it going, but it's tough. What are you asking here? Mary. Saisu. I never know how to say your username. CYICU. Saiku. This guy says, I've done teaching here and the max I ever got was $2,200. because I have a degree and over 8 years experience and recommendations from teaching at university. Yeah, the most I ever got was like $13.50 a month. But if you count my, when I was doing, I had some part-time students at $20 an hour. But if you were to extrapolate that out to a full-time, that was much more per hour. That was like, that's more like, that would have been like $2,200 a month. Like, except you're only doing 1 hour a day, so it doesn't add up that much. For teachers without a degree, what's the highest you've heard someone earn? Well, you get raises every year, so it's not like what you get hired at is your salary forever. But you'll start at like $1,300, and then every year you get like a $60 to $100 raise or something like that. Usually, you can't say every single school operates totally independently and separate, and nothing at all is standardized or the same between any schools, including books, materials, days off, anything. Having a Christmas or not, like that could be depending from school to school. So you can't really say like for sure you'll get this much raise every year, but at where I worked, they were giving, every time they renew the contract, you get a raise. And in Cambodia, you do not need a degree. There's only like 1 or 2 schools that are very high end that ask for a degree. So John Doe, the highest, it's just as long as you keep working, right? You could probably get up to 1,800, or I'd say 18 or 19, or it just keeps going if you keep working there. What if you work there for 20 years? It'll just keep going up. Boosehammer says, yeah, I'm coming. Oh, there's flies all over me here. I'm coming in with no experience. As long as I have enough to live and renew the visa every year, I'm good. Yeah, I know it's Kavan, but I don't know how to say your username. I know who you are. I know who you were the whole time, for sure. Big time. We've talked a bunch of times even. I just mean your username. I don't know how to pronounce it. So when I'm trying to reference to you, oh, this is what he said, I don't know how to say it. Hassan says, sorry. Before I say what Hassan says, I'm feeling like I'm in prime area to get my phone snatched here, right on the corner. Everyone's coming too close to me. I'm just gonna start going for it. Fuck. Hassan says, I'll be relocating to Cambodia in 2 weeks from the US. How easy can I get a job? I don't know, like you're asking me about your abilities. You tell me how well can you find a job? If you're like determined and a hard worker and you try a lot, like I don't know what your effort level is, you know what I mean? I was born in Mexico and my first language is Spanish, but I've lived in the US since I was 8 years old. So if your passport is Mexican, you'll be considered a non-native English speaker. So it makes it you're considered a little bit less valuable compared to a native English speaker, and they pay you less. So my recommendation would be you'd probably have more luck at schools that are not right in the city center. You like imagine the most attractive locations of schools. They're able to be more picky, and those spots will be more competitive. And so if you went like just not out of Phnom Penh, but like 3-4 kilometers away from the city center, so more on the outer edges of Phnom Penh, especially on the south end of the city. And there's another town called Tak Mau. So when you're getting like in the direction of going towards Tak Mau, There's a lot of schools opening up there, and there's less demand. But people would rather live in the heart of the city, right? And so you'll probably have better odds landing a job more towards the south end of the city, on the edge of the city, like. And there's all kinds of new neighborhoods. It's like developing there, so it's not bad. It would be like a 15-minute tuk-tuk ride into the city, not far. Like, I can't stand it. Like, look at me just trying to say one sentence, and I have to shout into my phone. Like, that's why I want to move to Camp Out. I just want complete silence. Like, just fucking like jet engines and boat motors going by me every second. My anxiety goes like through the roof. Yeah, and another thing is, I'll have to shout over all these huge motors. You guys have wrote so much, I have to scroll back like 10 pages to see where I am here. You guys are having conversations. Seth, hey. Kevin says, I'm from USA. How easy can I find a job in Cambodia? I'm 26 and I'm nervous, but counting my days. Well, do you have a TEFL certificate? You cannot teach if you're not certified to teach. And especially if you're not a native speaker, like, you know what I mean? So you need to become certified to be a teacher. It's called a TEFL or TESOL certificate. If you don't have that, you need to get that, or you won't be hired at all, for sure. I have links below if you want to do the same program I did with AVSE. Boozhammer's doing it. I've helped probably 40 to 50 people in the last 3 years come here and be teachers. They're all still here teaching. If you already have a TEFL and you're just worried about the job, check out the link as well, because they have side program. There's just a 9-day program called Teaching Jobs Abroad, and you skip all the TEFL stuff because you already have a TEFL, and it just does some practical observation and teaching practice, and then they help line you up with a job. So Hassan, if you already have your TEFL, look into the Teaching Jobs Abroad program. I think it's around $850 or something, and then coming out of that, they'll line you up with your first job. Then you don't have to worry about it. Hold on, I'm scrolling back and seeing you guys have been writing too much. Oh, Hassan, use your US passport when you show a school. Like when you're going in for the job interview, say, if you have a passport, use that one. They often go by your passport, so use your US. I don't know about what you should do about coming in the airport and all that stuff, like pick whichever one you know or whatever, but when it's getting the job, the teaching job, show the US one. That'll be a big difference. Like, yes, Hassan, you asked if coming with 6K USD is good. Yes, it is. I'd say even like 3 is great. So 3 or more, 3 grand or more. So 6 is great. And especially it might take you a slightly longer to find a job since you're non-native speaker. So it's good to have a little more than you need just in case. 6 is great. Boozhammer, if you're saying you're from USA with no certs and you're black, yeah, but you're gonna have the AVSE certificate, which is very strong. And being black can hurt you a little bit here, but it's more that they look at your passport nationality when it comes down to getting paperwork or getting a job and stuff. And so because you have a USA thing, it like cancels out like what they're most prejudiced against is when it says Africa or Nigeria, like South Africa or Nigeria, or they want Americans here. They want USA here. But the prejudice or whatever the word is against Africans. So you're not what they're prejudiced against. You just might look like it a little bit, but but that doesn't mean they don't hire that. Like at my old school I worked with like 4 very dark black people, and then like 5 others from South Africa one was Indian, a few of them were white. So they still get jobs. And I knew a guy here that was an American guy that was black, just like what you're saying you are. And his first job was like 1,400 or 15. It was like, I remember he told me in the bar, and I said, that's more than, like, I've been working for 2 years, and that your starting salary was more than what I got. Like, yeah, Kevin says many black people work here and get paid fair. Yeah. It's just, you hear the bad stories too. Like I guess there's prejudice like that no matter where you go. But I've heard of some landlords, like you'll find a small low-rise building, and I heard this from a white friend that they go to look at a place and they might live there, and the landlord says to them as a selling point, don't worry, we don't allow black people to stay in this building and stuff like that. Like you'll be safe here, kind of thing. Like, so you still hear little things like that. So it'd be wrong to say it's totally gone. Like there's some prejudice here, but I've also seen like women lining up, big lineup for the bathroom, and maybe a stall opens up and the person comes out and it's a black woman. Everyone in line will just wait in line for the other one. They don't want to sit on the toilet stall that the black woman came out of. Like I've seen that before. So it's like silent racism. They're not confronting the person or shouting at or saying anything, or they're not doing anything rude to the person. It's just they just make their own decision that they're not going to use that toilet or something. It's ridiculous, but trying to catch up on all this stuff. If I start walking, I'll definitely miss it. You guys are just talking to each other, so I'm scrolling by it. Also, yeah, you know what? You're saying, Boozehammer says, yeah, he gets it. It's like the same as America. Better than America, yeah. Yeah, you'll have no problems. And you know what? It's getting less and less and less too. Like it's the old generation that doesn't know any better, or I don't want to make excuses for them, but they're. And you know all the history that happened in Cambodia and all the genocide and everything, and then there was a whole generation wiped out, and then anyone left over had to grow up with, like, imagine no education at all, and the stuff they're hearing every day into their ear, and how they're raised and everything. And so if you bump into someone who's like 70 years old here, they might not love black people, like, you know what I mean? But they've just had a horrible life or whatever, and they've been misinformed, you know what I mean, and indoctrinated the wrong way. But the young, the young generation is great, very progressive, very inclusive, even with, genders and sexualities, like that too is way ahead of its time, and they're not racist at all. Like they'll probably think that you're really cool, you know what I mean? How, now I'm gonna sound racist. You know how like black people are cooler and they have the swagger, and all the music they love is probably from black people, like, so they're gonna really look up to you probably if you're students and stuff. I mean, wow, like they'll just think right away, you're from America? What, like Hollywood, like that's so cool. guys are talking about apartments now. Damad, what did you ask earlier? There, can you get an apartment in Phnom Penh for 150? You can, but you'll have to be like maybe like closer to the airport, and it will not be very nice. But you can search my videos. My first apartment here ever was 140, cheaper than 150. Was 140, and I have a video about it. You can go look, and I liked that apartment. It was about maybe 5 kilometers from here, and in traffic that could take like 45 minutes in a tuk-tuk from where I am right now. And so like it was getting annoying. Anytime I wanted to hang out with my friends, it would be a long in traffic tuk-tuk ride. And then going home late at night, I get in the tuk-tuk and the driver sees where he has to take me now, and you see him go, oh no, like. Hassan says, I saw an apartment for 100. It was better than where I live now in America. Yeah, well, if you find it. I bet you the location is on the outskirts a little bit, but you can definitely find like 200 or 250 for sure. But okay, let's keep moving. Okay, there was a place I was gonna try for food, but I'm almost certain it won't be there anymore. Sometimes I look on Google and I zoom in different neighborhoods, and then you see little restaurants around, and then you can click and see pictures, and I thought, oh, that'll be a good one to go to, but here in Cambodia, when a business like goes out of business, or they die, they close down forever, they don't like tell Google, or they don't remove it. So you'll see, oh, look at these pictures, look so good, and the opening hours are there, and reviews of people that went there and stuff. But you don't realize you're going to go there and it's going to be an empty, closed building. What natural disasters are most common in Cambodia? Just flooding with the rains, but it's not like disaster level. It's like the worst I've seen would be like up to your knees. That's the worst I've seen in 4 years, but it usually would be more like just past your ankles. Flooding that would last maybe 3-4 hours, or maybe over like till the next day for it to all drain away. Yeah, and it's seasonal. We're about to start rain season very soon. We had a flood. We had flooding in this neighborhood just like 2 weeks ago. And I did a little short about it from my balcony, but even that video, like if you went outside maybe an hour and a half later, the road was dry. Like it drains away pretty quick, but while it's raining or just right after it happened, it's just too much at once, and the roads get flooded a little bit. I can't imagine any other disaster. There was the earthquake in Thailand, but some people in Siem Reap said they felt a little rumble, but we don't really get that here. So this place I'm looking for, it's like in between, it's like in an alleyway, in between two buildings. Hassan, if you go to my Instagram, Tom Trips Out Instagram, along the top there's those highlights, little circular stories that I've saved as highlights.